Hi, welcome to PDQ Live. We have a guest here, it looks like. Two special guests. Very special guests. We have Brock. Hi, Brock.
Hey, everybody.
We have Krista. Hi,
Hello.
Krista.
Very happy to be here.
Krista's back to do part 2 of State of Sysadmin, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to talk about AI and IT and all the anxieties it causes. It'll be fun.
Perfect.
Great.
Brock is going to do the right way to do Autodesk and tease your new video. Yeah?
Yeah, kind of.
Probably some more stuff, too.
Yeah. We'll
Really
figure it
important
out.
stuff, I think. But first, we're going to show the new chat function in Connect.
Okay.
I think that's where we're going to start off today.
Who's
And
starting
then
this, by the way?
maybe if we have time, we're going to play a little game with Josh at the end.
Oh, is that why I'm here today?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why you're here.
Like you, as you're going through the intro, I'm like, yeah, well, I'm just here as furniture.
You're just here to look
okay.
pretty. Okay, so you may have noticed we released the chat functionality in Connect today. So if you want to chat with your users when you're doing a remote connection, you can now.
Okay.
Okay, so should we show them how to do
Yeah.
it?
How do you do it?
Okay. So I already initiated a little connection with Kelly, so I'm just going to jump in here now. Oh, look, here's all you guys. Let's see which screen I'm on. Kelly has 3 windows, so let me find the right one. 3 screens, I should say. There I am. Hi. Well, you guys are, you know what? This is going to be a team effort because this is down here. Oh, you put it down here.
Yeah, I put it there for you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. Okay. What should we tell Kelly?
Meow.
Meow. Oh, yeah, because you want to do your thing.
Yeah.
Meow, meow. Oh, it's so tiny. I don't even know if you guys can see that. So it's so easy. I mean, I don't even know if it's worth showing. But yeah, you just type whatever you want to tell them and they see it. And then they can type back. What did he say back?
Don't bother me. I'm working.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at
So,
that.
It couldn't really be any easier than that. You obviously have to have the client downloaded and then chat away. Right?
Love it.
But Josh has an even better way to chat that I want to show.
Okay. So you want me to show? Fun. So yesterday, we're going through this, and Tara was showing this off, and I was like, I had to be sarcastic.
Of course.
So here, I'm going to go show you how to be sarcastic. What's the name of Kelly's computer that he's on?
He's on Gus Fring.
That's right. Okay. So here, you can check this out. You can probably see from what I did yesterday. Well, just do this instead, right? If I can type. And I just run that. And the best part about this is, guess what? He can't say anything back. So, there's 2 ways to chat and connect, but actually really use Tara's. This is just me being
And he probably doesn't even know where it's coming from.
No,
it just comes from system.
Yeah.
It pops up and then it goes away.
Yeah.
So if you want to troll your users.
Yeah, but be careful because then they will just have to track you down to talk to you in person. And nobody wants that.
Unless your IT team is big enough, and they'll just go to the help desk.
Okay, there you go. All right.
So,
I thought that was really funny, so we wanted to show that one.
anywho, that's chat in Connect, right?
Yeah,
From
that's
desktops,
chat.
so you can chat back.
Yeah, so the developers did want me to say, though, make sure that you've updated everything because you might not see it initially. If you don't see it, just run the updates and you're good. So.
Yeah. Ooh, I should not run reboot right now, huh? I'm just gonna.
No, don't run reboot. Don't run reboot.
I'm gonna move before I get any ideas.
That would be bad.
Yeah. Okay, next up, I think we have Jansen. I mean, not Jansen. I just saw Jansen from Rachel. Jansen's like, what now? I'm coming down?
Come on down.
Come on, Tara. You know Tara reads everything on the prompt.
I know. Oh my gosh, I'm Ron
You
Burgundy.
just put the cue card up.
Hi, Brock, I mean. What's up, Brock? What do you got for us?
So we're taking a look at a couple things. The first thing that I wanted to show off is, and a lot of you have probably seen this, we do a really good job on whenever there's a new feature or anything, it usually just puts it like front and center when you open PDQ Connect. But we now support files up to 20 gigabytes.
That's really big.
That's
It is
huge. I honestly don't, I mean, data files, sure, but like an application or something you'd be pushing out an installer.
Yeah, what's that big? AutoCAD
Yeah.
is what I thought of. What else is that big?
Well, I've got Revit here.
Okay.
So I just made a package here, and this package isn't complete, so don't just like copy this and like try to run it.
Yeah, this will not run.
I don't have the silent parameters in here yet, but I just was like proof of concept. I attached the, this is the downloaded installer for offline. installs. Anyways, if you look at this zip file, it is huge. So we've got
10 gig, almost 11 gig, yeah.
Yep. So, and that I've already applied and attached to this package. So yes, 20 gigabytes, and that's per file too. So any, just per file, not the entire package size or anything like that. Per file, they can be up to 20 gigs. So that is awesome. But, and some of you have already seen this video, I'm going to show you kind of a different approach to deploy Autodesk. And it's actually really simple. And it doesn't require you to download these massive files and attachment packages or anything like that. So we're actually going to start off on the Autodesk website. And when you come here, manage.autodesk.com, you'll have this custom installs option. I've already built this just to save some time for this webcast. But if we go in here and we edit this, you can build out this deployment package, which returns just a small installation file. And the goal is to just push out this installation file, and then everything happens on the endpoint. It downloads everything directly from Autodesk and takes care of everything.
So it's just like the control method,
correct.
Really.
So yeah, so you would come in here, you would attach your whatever applications you want to push out. You would set up over on this right side. This is where you would be setting up your customizations and language packs for the actual application itself. When you're done there, click next. Now this is pretty important. Name your package. Set it to deploy, because we're going to be deploying this to multiple devices. Then take note of this deployment image path. We're going to bring that up here in a second, but that's going to be important. So put that somewhere where you will remember it. So I've got it just going to C Autodesk, and then I've just named it after my package. Log files, yada yada, symbolic links, agree to the terms. Now instead of hitting download here, just hit save. That way it actually saves it in your custom installs, and then you can come back to the actual package later. And then when you're ready to download it from here, you can just hit the download button. So the next step on this process, and I'm actually going to go to one of my computers that I've already done this on, is you download that installer and just run it. And that's not going to install the application. That's just going to basically extract all the installation files.
Oh, it unpacks everything that you need.
Exactly.
Okay.
Makes
So
sense.
here you'll see that here's that same path that I set up for that deployment file. And what it did is it just unpacked everything for me. One of the things it unpacked was this bat file right here, and I can open that up. Now, what you need to do is actually go, and you'll see install the deployment silently. So what you want to do is go and actually copy this, not this part, just the actual command itself. So you want to copy that, and that's where we're going to build our package off of. So once you've got that information, come back here to Connect, go to my packages.
Nice.
AutoCAD. So now this is a two-step package. So what we have here is we have our installation step. So this pushes out that initial file, which is then going to go and unpack all the
Unpacks
necessary
it on the target device.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's going to, this is the command you're going to use for that. This silences it. This just creates a log for it. Next, you're going to put in that command that we just copied over, right? So this is running the installer, offline mode, quiet, points to the XML that you had built up, specifies the installer version, and then logs the whole thing. And I've tested this. Yeah, exactly. You just have this two-step package, deploys out to whatever target you want, and the rest of it happens on the endpoint. And it's that simple. And so, and like I said, I actually go through the process in more depth in the video, and we also have a blog where I go throughout that whole process, kind of step by step to guide you through it. But yeah, much easier than I feel like it has been in the past to deploy Autodesk. So pretty huge.
Sweet. That's like a way huge improvement instead of unpacking all the individual files, making sure they're in the right place, copying them over.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then once it actually gets on the actual endpoint, and they launch it, they'll be taken to the login screen to actually log in with their credentials, their Autodesk information. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Brock.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, I think we're here for part 2 of a multi-part series with Krista.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the state of Sysadmin. So just a quick recap. This is a survey we do every year to understand what's happening in the world of IT. And this year we had over 1,000 different IT professionals, people who work in help desk, people who are senior sysadmins, and people at the executive level all respond to this survey and tell us what they are seeing in the world of IT. So this week, we're going to talk about AI and what role that is playing in that changing landscape of IT. So I wanted to click ahead and show you some survey data. We asked people, what are their biggest concerns that they're seeing in the IT industry? Not individually, not about like their own careers, because they're always going to say burnout and pay, right?
Sure.
But what are they concerned about for IT as an industry? Always, of course, security is going to be the top thing that they say. But number 2 this year was AI integration, which is new for us. We've been running the survey for 4 years now, and AI has become a huge concern. So I wanted to dig into this a little bit deeper, did some pivot table magic in Excel, said who's most and least concerned about this based on what industry they work in. So the field that's most concerned about AI in IT is professional services. These are people like law firms, consulting companies, things like that. On the flip side, the people who are least concerned about AI are tech, which we're going to see on the next slide. So only 12% of people who work in technology said that AI integration was their biggest concern. So there's some variation, kind of depends where you work, might depend on how familiar you are with it. But I wanted to ask the 3 of you, what keeps you up at night when you think about AI being integrated into IT?
My biggest concern is people utilizing AI who aren't experienced enough to know A, what they're doing with the data, and B, where's the data going? And to speak to the point that you made earlier with the industries that are being the most concerned by it is law. So the the National Bar Association is already taking steps because lawyers are ingesting briefs to be helped with AI. And there's already been some concern with personal information being used by large language models. And the Medical Association is another one that's being deeply concerned by that because once you put the information in there, you lose control of what it's being used for. So those are my 2 big concerns is once it's in there, you have no control over where it goes.
So if I'm an end user, let's say I'm working in sales, I want to dedupe a list. I don't want to play with Excel. I just want to get a quick answer. And I upload a bunch of sensitive information from a spreadsheet into ChatGPT. Where does it go?
That's a great question, right? It depends. Like it depends. Does your organization have your own OpenAI like private account, right? Where you have some control over that.
Yeah.
And who shares it, and does it train the large model? Does it not train the large model? Who knows? To me, like the scary part about AI is generally security and data privacy concern, and it's not going to be a malicious thing, right? It's that exact scenario you just described. I have this giant list of data. I have this giant thing. It would save me so much time to use this tool to do this thing, and it's not even like willful ignorance. It's just ignorance.
Yeah.
Of, well, that data is now gone. And is it immediately useful right now? Who knows? Probably not. But at some point, that may be very, very useful for someone, right? And to be used in a way that is not its intended case.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just one more option for a data breach, right? So even if it's like, hey, we have our own, account, so like the data is not just flowing out into the public. There's still the possibility of, hey, someone gets hacked, the wrong credentials get out, all of a sudden somebody does have access to that information that's been ingested.
Yeah, I think the concern here is not only that, but from like another like attacker perspective, is I can now use that AI model to make things that are much more relevant to my victim.
So you're saying phishing attacks get suddenly way more compelling?
They're way more compelling
because they seem more authentic,
right? If I can contextually prompt this with large data sets about things that people are already publicly posting, the companies are already publicly posting, it's now way more compelling. It's not the misspelled thing or the immediate call to action might not be the same, like the urgency, because now I don't have to pretend. I can actually let you interact with a bot to build that rapport. And the immediate urgency isn't so important.
I keep going back to that nightmare scenario about a year ago with that guy in Singapore that was compelled through emails and then an actual Zoom call with AI video renderings of his boss and senior leadership in his company to wire $4 million?
Yeah.
Like that
Well,
so
and that's
concerning.
always been around, and it's always been targeted at executives. But now it's going to be, like Josh said, it's going to be that much more nuanced and more impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Prince of Nigeria is going to seem
Yeah.
very legit.
Even
wants to
stuff
give
that
me
would have
money.
been like cultural language barriers, right?
Yeah.
Like you read writing from a non-native speaker
Yeah.
and you can pull it out.
Yep. Yep.
That's no longer an issue. Like slang gets ingested.
So some of those tells are not there
Are
anymore.
not there anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd go so far as to say you don't even know it's a data breach when you're using AI sometimes. If you're putting personal information into large language models, that in and of itself is a baby data breach in my mind, especially if you're a medical professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
It
it's-
really is. Yeah.
Yeah. And you start to switch gears and you're like, okay, so that whole thing, there's now like becoming a dependence on AI, right? Oh, I'll just use AI to do this, this, and this. And I think long term, you're going to see what's going to happen is a decline in critical thinking.
Already.
Already. Already.
Yeah.
You'll see just more mistakes happen because people don't check it. They're like, oh, the computer did it for me. It's got to be right.
And there's things a real human would see contextually that go,
Yeah.
I don't think that quite is rendering correctly. That's a weird outlier in that data. What does that mean? Maybe I entered this wrong. But if you're just relying on AI, it's not going to catch those
100%.
things.
Or think about it like in a very detail oriented field, like Tara was bringing up, like I'm an attorney, I'm a doctor, I'm asking
therapist.
I'm a therapist.
Yeah.
I'm asking it to summarize.
Yeah.
Transcribe. Well,
Yeah.
there's your personal data. What are they doing with it?
And
if
not
the
only
answer
that-
is we don't know, that's scary.
Not only that, but I'm also missing those details that are then and very important.
Yeah.
Those different jobs.
I'm looking at the chat, and by and large, they're agreeing with what we're saying. And so I think a lot of tech people are feeling exactly the same way that we are. Like, don't trust it 100%.
Yeah, like the technology is not bad. And I
No.
think that's reflective in the data. Like the technology says that is like the technology is not bad. What happens is people get involved and then
Yeah.
it becomes the people thing is bad.
Yeah.
So alas, are we back to a human shield?
Always.
So here's my question for you then. What training should you be giving end users in your organization so they don't mistake AI as this beautiful, perfect, shiny tool? What do they need to know to use it safely?
I think that this, and I think we might disagree on this, maybe not. I think this requires in-person training that has a little bit of a scare end to it, where you're going to teach them how it can help them with their job. Show them the tools, show them how, hey, this can really benefit you and make you more efficient in your job. Also, here's why it's scary. Let me help you protect our company and you. Here's where it can really get scary. Show them, teach them, hands-on, because in my opinion, it's not good enough to just do the trainings.
Yeah, I think there's this.
See, here he goes. He's going to disagree. Go ahead.
Wait,
I
tell us,
don't
Josh.
necessarily disagree, but I disagree on the track. I don't like scare tactics.
I don't typically either, but I think for AI right now, it maybe needs to be, but go ahead.
I don't like it because people, so many people are immediately adversarial to it's the red button thing. Don't push that button. It's a big red button. How many people are going to go push the button?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying.
But, yeah. But I think it is helpful to contextualize. I think as like technical people and practitioners, we have our default is to talk at a level that's higher
Exactly.
than what is understood. So
Yes.
if you can contextualize the risk, right, bring it to something that people can actually see in their daily life.
Yeah.
Well,
Think
there's a
about-
lot of training that's already there about PII, personally identifying information, right? If I'm in sales, I'm getting so much training on not sharing that. Maybe it's just bridging that gap and saying, don't share it with ChatGPT either.
Yeah.
That is just as dangerous potentially as emailing that out.
Yeah. And I think a way to contextualize that for someone is like, hey, would you post this on your LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Would you take this and would you post it right now on your LinkedIn?
Yeah.
If the answer to that is no,
Yeah.
probably don't be dumping that same information here where you don't know where it's coming out, because it might as well be on your LinkedIn.
Well, that's perfect. That's a scare tactic. I didn't mean to be like
yeah.
terrifying, but I mean,
Yeah, it's just, I
No,
think
that's
there's-
exactly what you meant.
people are generally trusting, and they're interacting
Yeah.
with the service. And,
Yeah.
and I think that's great. People are generally good,
Yeah.
but not all of them.
Yeah.
And you can't always just believe what you see.
And I want to follow up on something in the chat. So people have asked, what about a local LLM? What's been your experience with that as a safeguard? Pros, cons?
Well, that was Bogdan's suggestion. It's the only safe LLM is a local LLM. But
can we actually ensure that that is contained locally?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
But can you do that with DeepThink?
Yes, sure.
Well, I mean, because, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think you can.
This week on Patch Tuesday, everybody.
Did AI take over?
Wrong button. I'm so sorry.
no, I liked it. I thought
That was cool.
One in 25 shows. Okay.
I think
I thought we
AI
were
got
gonna
really
do it.
mad at us.
I
You
thought
were
I covered
gonna
it
do
last
it
week,
instead
but I guess I'll cover it again.
No, I thought
missed
that was
Patch
going to be
Tuesday.
you. That was amazing. I love that.
Oh, that's
I think the problem becomes like to run these large language models, it does take resources,
Yeah.
right? It does take resources. You can see it in the larger market. Like, look what happened to NVIDIA's
But
market
yeah,
cap.
not as much as NVIDIA wants you to think it requires large resources.
Well, no, I'm not getting into that. Like no, but it does take resources, and then someone has to maintain that model. Like, there is value in using Gemini. There is value in using Copilot. There is value in using, OpenAI or ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And to have those, it's like Briggs said, like, would you want to see it on a postcard? Then you put it in an email. Like, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Tech is so cyclical.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Like, it's the same themes over and over and over again. Yeah, the technology changes, but the actual premise of it doesn't.
Well, and one core premise of ChatGPT and all AI, generative AI, is it's going to save you time. It's going to make you more efficient. Get with it or you'll be left behind. And so we did ask in our survey, how are people in IT currently using AI in their job? And this was multi-select because there's lots of different ways you can use it. So half of respondents said they do use ChatGPT or Copilot or other generative AI. A little over a quarter said they use AI-powered features in their tools, and a quarter said, nope, I don't use AI in my job at all. But on the flip side, we know that AI-powered features can help with some cybersecurity software, with some protection. So,
Who doesn't use AI in their job? Are they lying?
well, and that brings us to this quote where somebody wrote in, we've used some form of AI for at least 45 years. It just wasn't marketed that way.
Yeah.
And I will admit, sometimes I do feel a little suspicious, right? Like this AI-powered tool, I'm like, what are we counting as AI now?
I suspected spell check the entire time.
Exactly, right? It's like, it's machine learning. It's generative. It's generally better. It's faster. But yeah, it's been around for a while. It's more accessible.
Yes.
As I think the thing. I think the one that sticks out to me here is 2/3 of words. So I'm going to translate it to like 66% use it in a SOC.
Yeah.
Right. And I think there is a ton of use for a generative AI or thinking that in a SOC. If we caveat it with, right, that it's using its own data sources as context. Right. So it's not like you're going to just like the open large language model of LLM of ChatGPT. Right. That's not useful there. Right. So when we talk about this, let's talk about like, hey, I have a large language model, ChatGPT. That's how you're interacting with AI. And then we have AI over here, or the actual algos. Those two things need to be like bifurcated. Those are separate things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have an AI on top of a large language model. So yeah, I think it's fair to say AI is very helpful with a large language model that is its data set, or the data set for the SOC, right? Your alerts, your things like that. But it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Something like that is highly detail-oriented. You're looking for indicators of compromise, right? Those are sometimes subtle. If I'm asking AI to summarize tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of log entries, how is that subtlety going to emerge? Or is it?
Yeah.
Right? But then again, how do you get through that much data without it?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a long way of saying, like, it's helpful, but just know that it is a tool. It's not a problem solver. It is just a tool.
Totally agree.
Does algos mean algorithm?
Yeah.
You're so cute.
No, Terry means algae. No, I'm just kidding. So there's a lot more in our report. There's a lot of information there. We're going to put a link to it in the show notes. And next week, we're going to do our final segment talking about cybersecurity and how that has been changing over the last year. So thanks for digging into AI with me. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'm excited for next week.
Yay. AI.
Don't offend our robot overlords. We love you, ChatGPT.
I love that the comments thought that the mistake was AI taking over and shutting down the show. Sam is mad.
Yeah.
Turn off.
And
the
was
show.
it even Drew's voice that said, oops, wrong button?
I don't know.
You know?
AI could have mimicked.
Can we detour? Is that okay? Can we detour? Because that's actually some scary, like, real world implications
Yes. Yes.
of like generative AI is stuff that's like voice, video, photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scares me because I
How
think
does
that
that
has
change?
like real life
Deep
implications.
fakes.
Right?
Justice.
Like
Law.
if you're using a video or a photo to prove something, okay, can you really prove it now?
Well, yeah, because are there digital markers? I mean, I've asked that before. Is there going to be any way to tell?
I don't think there has to be. I think there's, a lot of like chat GPTs and other large language models out there that do like put rules and boundaries and stuff in there and try to leave, those traces and stuff to let people know, hey, this is AI generated. But when you get something in your home lab, like DeepSeek or
Yes.
something,
You run it
there's
yourself.
like no rules. I
No,
mean,
but
how
I'm
can someone
talking
tell?
about like in a court of law. Like, is there going to be, hey, I didn't do it.
But-
Yes, you
But that's
did.
what I'm
This
saying. Is
picture
like,
said
if,
you did.
yeah, if you've got something in your home lab that you're running, there's no way for them to tell. Like, obviously, once it gets to a certain point. Like right now, you look at like AI videos and you can just look at somebody's hands and be like, oh, that's terrible.
Too many fingers.
8 fingers.
Yeah, exactly. But eventually, that's not going to be the case anymore, right?
It will get good
Eventually,
enough.
it will
Yeah.
look seamless.
Well, even then, I think whether we had digital markers or a way to tell in court or otherwise, the damage we've done in the public eye, like when that stuff comes out and then people see it, they're going to have their beliefs like set, whether it goes through court or not. They're going to be like, oh, but that's what I saw.
That's what I said.
So the conspiratorial thinking that social media,
Yeah. I'll just put my tinfoil hat on.
it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Awesome.
so I have a question. We may have an opportunity here to test AI and its skill versus our own version of AI, Josh.
I'm not a robot.
His shirt says
But this may or may not work. So let me see if this is even going to work. Hey, chat, can you hear me?
Hey there, I can hear you loud and clear. What's on your mind?
I would like to do a contest between you and Josh. I'm going to ask each of you a technical question, and then you give me your best answer. So I will start with Josh, and then you answer the same question. Do you understand?
Got it. That sounds like fun.
Oh, she's going
Go
to use
ahead
my
and
answer
ask
as
your question
context.
when you're ready.
Why does she kind of sound like Krista?
Stop it. I do not sound like the AI.
All right. Are you guys ready? Now, what we want our audience to let us know whose answer you prefer. Okay? Whose answer do you prefer? And we're going to start out easy. Okay? Josh, can you kind of tell me what the key differences are between a router and a switch?
Yeah. So a switch forwards frames, a router routes. I'm thinking of a word that's not router to define the thing. Determines the prefix and the destination of the incoming packet and sends it to the closest path.
Okay. Now, chat, can you tell me the key differences between a router and a switch?
Sure. A switch operates at the data link layer and forwards data within a local network by using MAC addresses. A router operates at the network layer, directing data between different networks using IP addresses. Essentially, switches handle local traffic, while routers manage traffic between networks.
She's good.
She's good. She's good.
She's good.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty clean.
Let's take this up a notch. Okay. So this one's a little longer.
Let's have chat chime in. Go ahead and let us know which one of those you like, and then let's
Yeah. So
do that while we're doing the next one.
Tell us.
Oh, yeah.
Marcel.
Marcel.
AI. I vote for AI. I vote for AI.
Okay. This is a troubleshooting question. Okay. So you're troubleshooting a network where users can reach internal resources, but not the internet. You run tracert 8.8.8.8 from a client machine and see it stopping at the default gateway. What are the possible causes and how would you resolve this issue? Let's start with chat. Chat, what would you do?
Sure. If tracert stops at the default gateway, it suggests an issue with routing beyond the local network. Possible causes include 1. Incorrect default gateway configuration. Ensure the client's default gateway is correctly set to the router's IP. 2. Router issues. The router might have a misconfiguration or be malfunctioning. check its settings and logs for errors. 3. ISP or external network issues. If the router is fine, the issue might be with the ISP. Contact them to verify connectivity. To resolve, confirm the client's gateway settings. Reboot or reconfigure the router. Contact the ISP if needed. Josh, your turn.
Wow. Throwing down.
Man. Woof. Okay. I would say I'm going to summarize everything that chat just said in like one line. It's just a problem with the next hop. Like that's all it is. If you get to the default gateway and it times out and it doesn't go next, it is something beyond. So what chat didn't say is that the default gateway does not necessarily mean that it's your next hop to the internet, right? I can have multiple default gateways between me and the internet, right? Like I could hit router 1 to router 2 to router 3 before I hit internet, and I could control all 3 of those routers, right? So if it's just getting to the client's perspective, default gateway and timing out, you need to look at that next link, whether that's you controlled or ISP controlled.
Very nice.
I think I'm with Alex, though. I think it was just unplugged.
Hey, chat, what did you think of Josh's answer to that question?
Josh gave a thorough explanation. He highlighted the importance of checking each hop and considering multiple default gateways, which is a great point. Both answers are valuable for troubleshooting.
I don't like this.
This is making me uncomfortable.
She's totally giving you props.
She's like,
here.
we're both winners.
Yeah.
We're both winners.
I'm afraid.
Okay, let's. I think we have time for one more question.
Okay.
And this one, it's again, it's actually pretty simple-ish. I think it's not necessarily troubleshooting. It's just Josh. We'll start with Josh. How does DNS work, and why is it important in a network?
How does DNS work? DNS returns the numerical representation of a name to a requester.
Okay.
It's important for a human because a human can remember google.com. Google cannot return like an IPv4 or IPv6 address. Like there's just not enough context.
Okay. Chat, what's your answer?
DNS, or domain name system, translates human-friendly domain names like google.com into IP addresses, which are used by computers to identify each other on the network. It's crucial because it allows users to use easy-to-remember names instead of numeric IP addresses, simplifying navigation and communication across the internet.
She did still.
She used my answer as context.
I wonder if she ingested any of my like DNS articles. You know?
All right, chat, you're pretty good. What do you think of Josh?
Josh did a great job explaining DNS. His points were clear and
like
covered
it.
the essential aspects.
I don't like it.
Did you steal Krista's voice, Kelly?
No,
Because everyone seems to think it is Krista.
This
so
is devastating.
I'm glad
I sound
it
like a
wasn't
help
just me. I
bot.
was like, wait a second.
Oh. Just have to rename my Alexa at home.
Now, let's ask to make AI snarky and see if she comes out with my voice.
All right. Well, one final thing. Hey, chat, can you tell me an IT joke?
Sure. Why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
With that high note, thanks for joining us, everybody. For PDQ, I'm Josh.
I'm Tara.
I'm Brock.
I'm Krista, not a bot.
Yeah, and Josh is not a robot either. Thanks for joining our webcast today. Do us a couple of favors. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us some comments and join us on Discord. That's where the fun really is. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye.